You know, I'm starting to notice that a lot of fans are choosing not to like Devin Haney. And the reason I use the word choose is because I get that he comes across as arrogant. I get that he always seems overconfident and is very outspoken. But what I think a lot of people are forgetting about Devin the Dream Haney is he is the undisputed champion of the lightweight division. Actually, the youngest undisputed champion in the modern era. And it's mind blowing that he gets so much negative backlash from fans because Haney is the only one at the division that was actually going out his way to try and make certain fights happen. Now, whether people want to believe he's clout chasing or not, I've never seen Devin Haney shy away from the smoke. Not once. I mean, people called the kid the email champion for almost 3 years straight, but forget the fact that right after he won the fight that put him in position for that vacant WBC strap, he was the guy calling Vasyl Lomachenko out with the infamous Nomachenko jab. No pun intended. And when Ryan Garcia defeated Luke Campbell, who was the one that entered the ring and issued a challenge to Ryan Garcia man to man? Or should I say boy to boy? You know what I mean. Let's not even get started on all the confrontations him and Teofimo Lopez had, which are actually the confrontations that put him in position to land the undisputed bout with George Kambosos Jr. after Teo suffered the upset to Kambosos. We also know that Devin Haney always wanted to smoke with Gervonta Tank Davis till this day. Hell, even when Tank's fight with Rolly Romero was called off the first go-round, Haney was one of the guys who volunteered to be Rolly's replacement before Pitbull Cruz got the spot. Now, I'm not saying people have to like Devin Haney, because at the end of the day, folks are going to be fans of who they want to be fans of. But for people to sit here and call this dude the email champ, then flip it to him having the easy road to undisputed, is unfair than a motherfucker. Like, that's complete bullshit, bro. Ladies and gentlemen, we gotta do better and start respecting our fighting and defending champions. Haney gave Kambosos the rematch in Australia when he could have went back on his word and made them go to his backyard of Las Vegas instead. You know, he could have been very difficult like many champs have been in the past. He not only ran it back with George, but he successfully defended those titles in a very physical bout. When he defeated Kambosos the first time, everyone said he was boring. When he beat him the second time and actually bloodied and also hurt Kambosos in the later rounds, crickets. No one had anything to say. Listen, I know his hype man looks like a cheap Run DMC mixed with Gilly the Kid if he ever became a pastor, okay? I know some say he looks like Donatello from the Ninja Turtles. I know he be having all that shit in his mouth, alright? I understand that. But we can't act like Devin Haney hasn't kept the same energy since he stepped foot on the scene. You know, for him to be giving Vasyl Lomachenko a shot is big for the division, especially for the simple fact that now the roles have reversed. Haney's the one with everything to lose and Lomachenko's the hungry one. So if anything, Loma has everything to gain here. Not to mention Lomachenko's getting a second shot at Undisputed. Well, actually first, since his bout with Teofimo was never really for Undisputed since Devin had the other title. Some people will say, oh, well, Lomachenko's over the hill. Yeah, but if he wins, that means an over-the-hill guy is the new undisputed champ. Oh, well, Haney is boring and he likes to hug a lot. Okay, but you will still be watching. See what I mean? Make no mistake about it. Lomachenko's a very dangerous opponent, and I would debate that with anyone. To be honest, I feel like the fight on May 20th can play out so many different ways is actually very intriguing to me. Like, this should be a treat for any hardcore fans because, of course, it will be very technical early on due to both of the IQs we have in the ring. The chess match will be on full display in this one. Both have good speed, both are very elusive, their defense is about the same, footwork doesn't really have much of a gap at all. Haney is the bigger guy physically, but I'm sure we all know Loma has more experience and the edge on power. Some will say, oh, but Loma has beat a lot of bigger opponents. And yes, this is true, but none of those guys are as athletic or as skillful as Devin Haney. Haney being orthodox can help him execute a lot easier against the shorter southpaw Loma and basically demonstrate everything Ryan Garcia was supposed to demonstrate against Gervonta Davis. If Lomachenko can get on the inside, he will have a lot of success, being that the longer Haney struggles on mounting offense from that up close. Not saying that Loma can't outbox Devin Haney, because at the end of the day, Loma is Loma. But the thing is, whether people like to admit it or not, Devin Haney can box his ass off. Everyone knows it. So I feel like the formula for Loma getting the win would actually be to make it an ugly fight. being that he could get a stoppage, and I don't mean that okie doke we witnessed last Saturday from Tony Weeks during the Romero and Barosas bout. I mean a real legit stoppage. Of course, that's easier said than done, because as gifted as Lomachenko is, we all know that he has weaknesses. You know, he's struggled and been beaten before. He's really not the greatest when fighting backing up. He doesn't like to get hit in the body, and if you force him to his own left or roll with him to his own right, he can't utilize any of those high-tech angles we love to see from him. So that tells me Haney could use not only his traditional jab, but also the jab to the midsection, where he can pot shot Loma a lot this fight, all while maintaining the mid-range part of his attack. That way you keep him on the back foot and make him uncomfortable, kind of like what Teofimo Lopez did in his fight with Loma. Now it's a given that Haney doesn't possess the power Teofimo does, but what he does have is more speed and accuracy to accumulate a toll on Lomachenko, which would be very strategic if he's trying to be up on the scorecards. Only danger I see for Devin Haney is that Haney likes to get complacent late in fights, and if you watch Timothy Bradley's interview about this matchup with Max Kellerman, he pointed out how Lomachenko can catch Haney late in the fight, which is very true. Devin Haney gasses a lot and likes to play it safe going down the stretch to the point where a lot of his movement can be telegraphed. He also gets hit with unnecessary shots. We've all seen when George Linares, the same guy that sat Loma down like a preschool child, caught Devin Haney and made him do the stanky leg all the way back to his corner. We've seen Jojo Diaz and George Kambosos also catch him with some big shots that, to Devin's credit, he took very well. Problem is, he can't do that with Loma. Loma's lethal with those combinations and has a lot more speed than those guys. He will jump on you like a pack of hyenas if you fall asleep. Fuck around and find out. With that being said though, a lot of people assume Devin Haney is going in like a deer in headlights for this fight. People say he's taking Loma lightly, and that very well may be the case, but in my honest opinion, I feel like he's just going with the flow and has full belief in himself, which is how you should carry yourself as a champion. If anything, I think he will come in for this bout sharper than he's ever been, being the fact that the opponent is Lomachenko and is the guy he's wanted since day one. Haney also says he wants to retire Loma, which means Haney will be gunning for a stoppage, and that really isn't far-fetched at all. I mean, with the right game plan, I can actually see it, and I really wouldn't be surprised if it happens. Hell, I might even place a bet on Haney for the stoppage, just in case, depending on the payout. But he's gonna have to prove that those fists are more than just pillows this time around. You know, he's been asking for this fight, right? So now he's gonna have to show everyone, this is what you wanted, so this is what you're gonna get. As for Lomachenko, what I can say, he's one of the most entertaining fighters in the sport of boxing today. I don't care if you think he's overrated. I don't care if you're not a fan. When this motherfucker fights, people tune in. The man has had ups and downs in his career, but at this point, there's clear writing on the wall for him to win this fight. Like it's almost set up that way if you're the Universe or promoter Bob Arum. Loma has been on a mission for Undisputed for years, so he's gonna have to make this his best one yet. After just coming back from the war and fighting for his home in Ukraine, can he redeem himself from that loss a couple years ago to Teofimo Lopez and finally collect that Infinity Gauntlet once and for all that will solidify his storybook career? Or will Devin Haney break some hearts, grab the spray paint, and tag all over that writing to let Shakur Stevenson and anyone else know that he's a real one and is indeed here to stay? Will Devin Haney retire Lomachenko, or will he suffer the same fate as his buddy Ryan Garcia? Because I don't know if you've seen the interview, but Lomachenko just called Devin Haney another Ryan Garcia. Shit. Tune in May 20th on ESPN pay-per-view, coming from the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. Two of my favorite fighters go head-to-head, Devin Haney, Vasyl Lomachenko. This is boxing. Pop off.